My husband doesn't realize how his work wife is trying to destroy our marriage. I'm 31 and at my wit's end with my husband's 30-year-old coworker Sara and his complete inability to see what's going on. I don't usually use Reddit, but I need to know if I'm going crazy. Well, where do I start? 3 years ago, my husband Mark, who is 32, started working with Sara. Early on, I tried to be welcoming. I invited her to our barbecues, included her in group outings, and really tried to be friendly. Big mistake. She spent the whole time making indirect comments about everything from my career. "Oh, you're just a yoga instructor. How so Pacific?" To my cooking. "I guess not everyone can master basic seasoning." The real problem is Mark thinks she's just joking. Last month, she literally threw away the birthday mug I got him. It looked like she accidentally broke the mug. I noticed it was gone when I visited him one day and asked him about it. He said she accidentally dropped it, and then he repeated a joke she made about how she didn't fit in with the office aesthetic. When I got upset, Mark said I was being too sensitive and that Sara only has high standards for office decor. It was a mug with our wedding picture on it. I will name a few of Sara's greatest hits. She scheduled a mandatory work dinner for our anniversary. She talked Mark out of accepting a promotion because it would mean working with a different team. Note, the promotion was not one that would increase his salary, but rather a position that would give him more leadership experience. It still shocks me that he turned it down just so he could be on the same team as her. She posts daily pictures of them together with hashtags like #WorkPowerCouple and #WorkWife. She tells everyone in the office she takes better care of him than I do. She changed his coffee order and now tells everyone she trained him properly. But you know what the worst part is? My husband is completely blind to all of this. Yesterday, he actually told me how Sara said our new house we spent months looking for was charming, with that homey feel of someone just starting out. He repeated it laughing. I tried to talk to him about it, but Sara convinced him I'm just insecure. She has managed to insert herself into every aspect of our lives. They text constantly, even on the weekends. She knows his schedule better than I do. She rearranged his entire office desk and closet because his style was very suburban husband. That's what he is. Last week, I suggested couples therapy. He seemed genuinely confused. He, of course, went to talk to Sara about it. I found out from another coworker of theirs that she has been telling people that Mark and I are going through a rough time and that she is just being a good friend, giving him someone to talk to. We weren't going through anything until she started this nonsense. Now, the breaking point. I stopped by his office to surprise him with lunch. I know, but it was his birthday, and Sara was supposedly sick. But guess who was there? She miraculously recovered and bought him a cake that said, "My work husband," with a picture of them from the office holiday party. She saw me and said, "Oh, Amy, you came too? That's cool. Mark, you didn't tell me your real wife was coming. I'm not crazy, right? This woman is trying to destroy my marriage, while my husband sits there smiling like it's all one big joke. What do I do? Divorce. It seems extreme, but I'm running out of options. It's been 3 days, and I came to give you a little update before I talk to my husband. I decided to do some investigation. I started with his phone and read all the messages between him and Sara. She would talk badly about me sometimes, and he would do nothing to defend me, but he also wouldn't get involved. She was a flirt. She loves him, but he wasn't much of a flirt in return. They would talk a lot, and he would compliment her often for her work ethic and intelligence. I didn't see anything about cheating. I checked his personal email. Nothing. I checked his work email. Nothing. I went through our other devices. Nothing. I searched high and low for a second phone. Nothing. Everything I found was always on that fine line. Nothing was overt cheating, but here are the things I found that hurt me. He has lunch with her and only her every day at the office. They don't really like anyone else, so they criticize others and say, "Let's talk more at lunch today." They are serving such and such food. He would say things to her like, "I'm sure if you were a wife, you would do such and such a thing." He always said "a wife" and not "my wife." But still, it left me upset. She admitted to breaking the mug on purpose. He wasn't upset with her. He just said the picture gifts are kind of tacky. I confronted him and told him everything, and although he wasn't upset, he tried to downplay things. He said I was being sensitive and that I was overreacting. I told him if we didn't have a serious talk about it, I would file for divorce. This got his attention, and he sat me down. He admitted that at first, he thought it was weird that Sara was trying so hard. He saw her trying hard with all the men in the office. The more attention she gave him, the more he liked it, and the more he responded. The more attention she gave him until she just targeted him. He knew some of the other men were jealous, and he liked that too. He admitted that eventually, he got too involved. He said he knew it was wrong, but he had gotten addicted to the attention and didn't want her to move on with another man, so he kept me sometimes at my expense. He said it was good to have two women in the two main parts of his life, stating that he knew Sara and I would rarely see each other. So what was the harm in him? He reiterated that he never cheated on me physically with her. But he admitted that it could be called an emotional affair. It was painful. I won't hide it. I mean, really painful, as if I wasn't enough. I told him that from now on, he needed to stop communicating with Sara and ask to be transferred or change jobs completely. Now, guys, I say this in all seriousness. He lost his mind. He started raising his voice, saying things like he never cheated on me, everything was transparent, and that I couldn't control who he talked to at work. He called me a narcissist and a control freak. He told me that I didn't know how hard it was, how much pressure he had at the office, and that his personal relationship with Sara helped him a lot. Taking that away from him would only harm his mental health. It got so bad, I started crying. I couldn't take it anymore and decided to leave. I packed a small bag and called my mother-in-law. She is the only family I have here. I gave her a rundown of what was going on, and she offered her house to me. I am staying here and just waiting for my husband to calm down so we can review this. I want to work this out. I love him more than anything. I will update you if anything new happens. This has been really therapeutic and makes me feel less alone. Well, I'm back after 2 days from my last update. My husband went to my mother-in-law's house. She didn't call him. He knew I was there because I told him, and he said he wanted to talk. He wanted to explain himself. According to him, after I left, he started to think. He called his mom, and they had a long talk, and I didn't know any of it. She asked if he was happy with me, and he said yes, that I made him extremely happy, that I was a good wife and a great partner. That's how my husband realized he was being juvenile by wanting attention from another woman. I asked him why he always ignored things and never acted on them before. He said he couldn't explain it, just that it felt good. He assured me he never wanted to sleep with her and never advanced things that way. It was really good to have someone around who fawned over him like a fan. He admitted he didn't really understand what an emotional affair was, but after researching, he agreed that it was what it was, although not intentional. He said he didn't want to lose his friend, so he just went along with what she did, and that conversation with his mother was the only thing that made him open his eyes. He said he didn't want to fight. My husband really likes to give me space, so when I left, he didn't chase me because he thought it would be better if we just calmed down and thought about it and hopefully got back together and discussed it more rationally. He resolved the situation with Sara. Although they didn't meet in person, they talked on the phone. He told her that they couldn't be so close anymore, that their texting and out-of-office calls needed to stop, that he would get her a replacement mug that she shouldn't touch, and that they needed to cut down on lunches. He wanted to resolve this before talking to me, to show that he was serious. Sara didn't take this well and started berating me, saying that I was forcing him to do this. My husband stopped her and said no, he was doing this because his marriage was important to him. He admitted that he had let things go too far and made it clear that he had no romantic interest in her and that if she had feelings for him, she needed to distance herself immediately. Sara ended up ruining his friendship all by herself. My husband was willing to maintain a more distant relationship, but after the comments she made about us, it became impossible. She said she never wanted anything to do with him and that everything she did was because she was sure our marriage wouldn't work, that we weren't meant to be together, and that she was just trying to open his eyes. He told me he was still in shock because he never saw how vindictive and cruel Sara could be. In his words, she was poisonous. It didn't end well. After all, my husband came to me and wanted to make sure I knew he understood the gravity of the situation and that he was taking the necessary steps. He said he was willing to do whatever it took to make things right. I know many of you may think I'm wrong, that divorce would be the only way out because he had an emotional affair with someone else. I understand that point of view, but I'm sorry if I disappoint you. I'm not divorcing my husband. Instead, I made it clear to him that we needed professional help and that we needed counseling together. Yes, I went through all of his devices. I read his emails and messages. It was extreme. He agreed that it was an invasion of privacy, but he also understood that, given what happened, I needed this. Even so, we both know there is a lot of work ahead. For now, we are separated. We will not live in the same house. We will go through therapy, and I do not want to simply go back to as if nothing had happened. I need to feel that I am the priority. I do not want to be treated as a second option or have my concerns ignored. I left my mother-in-law's house, and I will stay for a while at a friend's house. I know this may not be the conclusion that many expected. It may seem anticlimactic. Maybe it is like the cliché of the couple that ends up getting back together, but the truth is that it's not that simple. I love my husband. I know he loves me. This situation was horrible. He made a big mistake, but I believe that our marriage is worth rebuilding. I hope this is my last update. But if it is not, you will know. Thank you for all the messages, for the support, for every word. You have no idea how much this helped me. Hello, we are continuing the saga of the wife. As many of you predicted in my last update, Sara was not at all happy with the fact that my husband ended the friendship and tried to distance himself from her. She started a smear campaign against him. I thought she would contact me, but that never happened because it never had anything to do with me. I was never her focus, except as someone to be attacked. I have to admit one thing. Sara is extremely efficient. She started her campaign long before Monday morning. On the weekend, she contacted several of my husband's coworkers, most of them men. She told them that my husband had suddenly stopped being friends with her and that she suspected it was my fault. She said she couldn't believe it. After all, everyone knew how close they were. She said she was feeling bad for him, that she just wanted to be a friend and maybe help him get out of what she called our terrible marriage. She wouldn't stop talking about how this situation was affecting her performance at work and that she didn't know if she would be able to continue at the company. One of the employees in the same department who works with my husband sent me a message telling me all of this. As many of you also predicted, she seems to be preparing to accuse my husband of something. On Monday, she put herself in his way several times. It seems like she is setting up a situation to create a narrative of, he said, she said. Because, according to my husband, she has been doing a lot of strange things. Things like purposely following him into rooms or parts of the office that are more private, sending emails by mistake or forwarding messages to him, coming to his desk several times a day for no reason, sitting next to him in meetings whenever possible. It may seem like something harmless, but it actually feels like she is setting the stage for something. My husband went to HR first thing Monday morning, but as I expected, they basically said they couldn't do anything unless it started to interfere with work or office hours. The company's HR is not the best. He reported what she did that day, but honestly, I don't think anyone took it very seriously. We have been thinking about moving. The only thing that is still keeping us here is his mother, so maybe he will end up asking for a job transfer. We are not sure yet. I hope things don't get worse, and since he has already gone to HR, I hope nothing serious happens now. I want to give a little update on our couples therapy. For everyone who says I am making a mistake by giving my husband another chance and trying to save our marriage, I am so grateful that I didn't listen to you. I understand that it was a horrible situation. I went through it, and I know how painful it was, but therapy revealed things about my husband that I never imagined. Apparently, he was bullied a lot in high school and only started to gain confidence after he entered college and went through a change in appearance. Sara is that classic stereotype of a pretty blonde, and my husband confessed that, in a way, he felt like he had finally managed to be accepted into a popular group. He admitted that Sara basically mirrored everything about him. Likes, dislikes, everything. She talked to him as if he were perfect. It seemed like she was inflating his ego in a manipulative way. Like I said, I know this isn't a simple situation to forgive and move on. But hearing my husband talk about all of this, how he felt, and how it affected him made me feel much more empathy for him. I haven't gone home yet, but we're taking it one day at a time. I had lunch with him on Monday, and I'm going to have lunch again today. I'm trying to be there so he doesn't feel alone. I'm so ready to make all this end once and for all. I hope the situation at work doesn't get worse, but if it does, we'll face it together. That was today's story. What would you do if you were going through a situation like this? Tell me in the comments because I really want to know your opinion. If you like to hear this story, and if you want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications of new videos because here I tell them and you believe them if you want.